All right, so we are going to discuss race and racialization, right? Race itself is an uncritical understanding of race as something that's natural, biological, and written in our DNA. A critical perspective of race understands that it is a quote unquote social construction. This means that race is a human invention. Race is therefore a system of classifying human beings based on superficial physical differences that are assumed to be biologically determined. Uh, this way of classifying people will therefore legitimate the exploitation, oppression, and discrimination of other people. Racialization is a process of the production of race, the configuration of the racial classification system through politics, through the economy, and in society. In other words, race is therefore politically constructed, politically produced, economically produced, and socially produced. So you have political racialization, economic racialization, and social racialization. As a human invention, race is therefore unstable and changes through time. Therefore, we will see that the definition of race changes through time. Through the process of racialization, common ideas about race are produced and are naturalized and normalized throughout our society. For this class, we start from the critical perspective that race is not natural, not biologically determined, and not written in our DNA or genetics. Racial categories such as white race, yellow race, brown race, or red race have been created through history, through public policies, within our political system and our legal system, socially and economically as well. In order to legitimate a racial hierarchy in our society that privileges the quote unquote white race, giving them access to power and the ability to oppress others. In our case, a racial hierarchy has been created through history that gives privileges to the white race, and this is what is called white privilege. And white privilege has been sustained throughout history by very violent expressions of white supremacy. In our readings, pay attention to how the quote unquote Asian race has been produced and how it intersects with Asian religion and what implications that may have for Asians in the US. Moreover, think and rethink how what you know about race and engage with the idea of race as a social construction. What does this mean? One of the best videos for understanding race as a social construction is the documentary Class Divided, whereby an elementary school teacher divides her class based on eye color. And from there, she teaches and she tells the student that a certain eye color is smarter, more polite, well behaved, etc., and the other eye color isn't. And by the end of the day, by the end of the week, students believe this and they replicated that kind of idea. This is what happens in our society with respects to skin color and the policies that our government institute then legitimates and reinforces the idea of a certain race being inferior to um, another race, and that the two races are inherently different. This is going to be a central theoretical concept that will be used throughout this course. So make sure you read the required readings for this week very carefully, especially the article by Michael Omi and Howard Winnett, Racial Formation, uh, which argues that race, the idea of non-white races, Asian, black, brown, red, have been created politically and historically through legal processes. All right.